This is One on One. You're looking at Walter Towns, co-author of a wonderful book called Comin Home. It is an honor to have you, Walter. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Steve. Great to be here.
We were just talking off the air about the book and how it came about. First of all, what is the book about? Is it autobiographical?
It is semi-autobiographical. I take a lot of my life, but I take a lot of people. Like Joe Friday said, some of the names have been changed to protect it. But I've taken my life and some of the things that happened to me and put it down on paper, and been blessed to come out with, I think, a wonderful story for people.
You grew up in Queens?
Yeah, grew up in Queens.
The story's about someone who grew up in Newark, my hometown.
That's right. That's right. I grew up in Queens, but I was coaching in Drew University. I lived in South Orange, New Jersey, and I fell in love with Newark. It was a funny way of falling in love with Newark. My third day living in my first home with my wife on 3rd Street in Newark, I got my car stolen.
Yeah, well,
I got my car stolen.
I got my 4th car stolen in Newark in 1992. Yeah, well, believe me, it's part of living there. But go ahead.
And I said, oh man, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe. Oh no, I'm going. And my neighbor walks out, Francisco Silva, and he said, "Welcome to the neighborhood." I said, "Really?" He said, "Really?" He said, "But it gets better for this." And I fell in love with it because I have 2 great friends, 2 basketball coaches who love Newark, and they love going to hang out in Newark. Joe Lochran, who's the Rutgers Newark coach,
right.
And Pete Marion, who's a great friend, who's the FDU Madison coach. And these guys used to hang out in Newark and tell me, "Oh, come on."
A lot of talent in Newark.
A lot of talent.
But the book itself is about a guy.
Right.
Okay. His name is Willie Joe Cunningham, born and raised in Newark.
Absolutely.
Right? Tough life.
Yes.
But comes out of the projects, if you will.
Yeah.
Aspires to be a professional basketball player.
Yeah.
But a lot of chaos in his life.
Absolutely.
Now, again, you said autobiographical.
Yeah.
But this is a book about hope.
Hope.
Overcoming obstacles.
Overcoming adversity and managing to stay with it and keeping your eyes on the prize.
What does that mean?
And keeping focus to where to go in life to be a better person and be a better man and make your next person a better person, a better man. And that's what happened to me in life.
What do you mean?
What happened was, I grew up like a lot of, stereotypical inner city kids. My mother raised me. I had 4, one of 4. I had an opportunity. I was lucky. I was into sports, but, I was good. But I wasn't that good. But I also had guys who I hung out with who were on the other side of the...
Let's just say there were distractions.
That's right. There were much bigger distractions than you would think. And my mother, I'm very lucky that I had people who put their arm on me and said, hey, they guided me in the right direction. And one of my heroes in the book is Coach. And I had several coaches, over my lifetime that kept looking over my shoulder and guiding me to the right decisions in life. And one of them was a man by the name of Reverend John T. Meehan, who founded the Archbishop.
Reverend Meehan.
Yeah, Reverend Meehan, who founded the Archbishop Leadership Project for young African American males who are athletes, who happen to be athletes, happen to be basketball, football, baseball, whatever. And these guys, and he said, hey, there's a little bit better way out there. And he introduced us to books like James Baldwin, Leroy Jones. And James Baldwin was a big hero of mine because
otherwise known as Amiri Baraka.
That's right.
Leroy Jones.
Leroy Jones, that's right. And but James Baldwin, from whence we came. Remember from whence we came. And I've never forgotten that. And that was a big interest, and that's part of why the book is what it is.
But why in the book do you say sometimes, playing off the title of the book, it's not so easy to come home?
It's not.
What does that mean?
If you look at a lot of athletes, you look at a lot of people who have made it.
People always say, it's so good to be home.
Oh, yeah.
And then you say it's so tough
no,
to
it's not.
come home.
And it's not. And I got a lot of friends and myself. I ask myself, how many times do I really want to come home? How many times when I was coaching and I was having a great life, how many times was I coming home to express that joy and to give people in my neighborhood that same hope and wisdom of, hey, there's a life out there, and let me bring some young brother along to have that. I mean, I watched the show where you had a young man from Camden on, a musician. It was a tremendous show, and he would do it for free. I didn't have that thought in my head until later on, until later on, because that's what happens. Sometimes you just get caught up. You
Can they pull you
assimilate
down?
into society.
Can they pull you down?
It can pull you down.
You go down, you go back to the neighborhood.
Yes.
You bring in positivity.
Yes.
You bring in your life experience. You want
Right.
to put your hand out and lift someone up.
That's right.
Easy to get pulled in and get pulled down.
It is, because you are different. To a lot of kids out there, you're different. You're, oh man, you just, you might be.
You forgot where you came from.
You forgot where you came from. Oh, now you're doing this. Oh,
You
you're
too
just
good for the
hanging out with
neighborhood?
that. Huh?
You too good for the neighborhood?
Too good? Too
Yeah.
good? Hey, you don't have what we have, But you know what? A lot of these kids want somebody. There's a kid out there that wants to, hey, Walt Towns, what did Walt Towns do? Hey, I'm interested in learning what that is all about. What was it like to be with Coach Carnesecca? Tell me about Lou Carnesecca. Lou Carnesecca. I mean, he was another gift to me that was given, and he helped provide that steering to say, hey, you're going to be good as a coach. Here, this is how you become good as a coach.
By the way, tell everyone where you are today.
Well, today I'm the athletic director at the NOC School. I'm the athletic director at the NOC School, which is a boarding school out on Long Island, and which is far different from being under the bright lights of Madison Square Garden or at the RAC. Or at the RAC at Rutgers
Athletic
that's right.
Center. How good is it where you are?
It's real good, because you know what? I identify and work with kids, and I try to give kids that chance, or I try to give kids like who are looking at for schools, like at the White Foundation or the SEEDS program in this area. We give them a hope and a chance to help promote where you're going to go, where you're going to be, and then you can still come home and you can make it better for somebody else, out there too.
A few seconds left. You told me you started writing this book years and years ago. You started just taking some notes.
Yeah, taking notes of what I was doing, what was going on in the neighborhood, what was going on in my life, and what was I learning from it. And I took it from there and I started writing down notes, and I came down. And then when I was getting ready to finish up college coaching, I said, hey, let me write this into a movie. And so I hired a guy named Tony Collega, and we just wrote a book, wrote a novel, wrote a screenplay. And then Barry Cohen came in.
Your co-writer.
Yeah, my co-writer came in and made the novel out of it.
Glad you did. It's called Comin Home.
I'm
and
glad.
we're glad you came home to one-on-one.
Absolutely.
Walter Towns, congratulations.
Steve, pleasure. Thank you so much.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Barnabas Health, Qualcare Inc., the law firm of Gibbons PC, Verizon Communications, and by TD Bank. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.